100 plus on the Nifty, so 98, 86 tracking there. 22,700 around is where basically the Nifty is finding some gains at. I mean, 65 now, so immediately after that exuberant open, there is a bit of pullback, but 30, 40 points. The scale of the moves have been so large that 40, 50 points is small relative to that recent moves. Nifty Bank is up 150 points, 49,200. I mean, that's a more steadier start. But in line actually with the Nifty. The mid-cap index is up 1.25%, and the small-cap index also will come up on your screens, and it'll tell you what's happening. Many of these individual names, and I think a lot of the PSU names are at the bottom of the screen, and private banks as well. Financials, a lot of them right there at the bottom of the list. But that's indices for you. Let's get it with stocks and what's happening, guys.
Interestingly, I'm just starting with the whole FMCG move, and after 2 good days, that seems to have taken a bit of a back seat. Start with the larger stocks. Lever, for instance, is cooling off about 2% lower. Look at Britannia. It's also on the lower side of the screen. So pretty interesting. The market really swings big ways. I mean, and sentiment is a wild pendulum. You can perhaps say that. So, in fact, even some of the smaller names, if you're looking at stocks like Imami, Marico, Honasa, all of these were surging yesterday. Today, there's some cooling off. Dabur, etc. Some cooling off on quite a few of these names. So what is working? I mean, FMCG obviously is kind of off the charts, at least for now. So is Pharma. Cipla is down, Sun Pharma is down. So that whole immediate knee-jerk risk-on trade is now off. So let's see, what is the market buying? We've got a lot of the larger stocks and PSUs, by the way, at that, which are back in focus and back in favor. NTPC, SBI, ONGC, Coal India. These are the ones that are really up and about. BPCL. So, the top tally on the Nifty is actually all PSUs. And then you have some names like Infosys, HCL Tech from the tech space, Wipro. So, tech is good. PSUs are good. ITC is seeing some buying. Those are the pretty early trends. And actually, on the PSUs, just to note, even in the broader market, beyond the Nifty as well, there's a lot of buying. BHEL 7%, NBCC 7%, NHPC 7%, PFC 6%, Aircon, Hudco, GAIL. It's just a long list. RBNL, BEL. So the pendulum has been swinging wildly away from PSU, away from CapEx on June 4. And today is a very, very different day as some of these stocks are back in the radar and the PSU rally is cooling off.
Well, that's right. Should be a couple of stocks that we highlighted yesterday. If Amravati is going to be in focus, then stocks like KCP are well positioned. We'll have to see how that dream plays out. Yesterday, the stock was up close to around 18-19%. A lot of the TDP spokespersons are talking about Mr. Naidu taking oath in Amravati in a couple of days and then focusing on their development plan as well. The stock is up close to around 18%. Just to alert our viewers, for this week itself, it's up more than 35%. So take note of that before taking a fresh call on the stock. Heritage Foods, that's the other stock where Mr. Naidu is the promoter entity. And that one, in fact, is up close to around 10%. And in this week, it's up more than 45%. I'm looking at the profitability of the last year was around 100 crores. Some believe that will improve dramatically because they had some, low margin products that had to get sold in the past year. They're also focusing on higher value-added products. So that's why that stock, in fact, is moving up. But as of the last year, the profitability is only 100 crores. They're expecting it to move up drastically. For the timing, it's running on that, new Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu. So that's why, in fact, that's doing pretty well. A few more notable movers. You have Kochi Shipyard. That stock's flying away in today's trading session. It's up close to around 8%. Keynes as well is moving very, very well. So these are some of the top volume movers as well. And Titagar is another stock that's up and about in today's trade. Hudco, stock took a bit of a break. Week to date, mind you, it's still down close to around 10%. But for today's trading session, it's up close to around 7%. PFC and REC, they're back on the buy list. Both those two stocks are higher. And Snowman Logistics as well. Yesterday the stock was up close to around 8% odd. The promoter entity has been buying from the open market out there. And in today's session as well, Snowman Logistics is up close to around 3% odd. So keep that one as well on your radar. Prashant.
More normal markets, guys. Things are looking a little better, much better, and more settled. On wild swings in either direction. But that's exactly what we've had. Pull up NTPC, if you will. It's one of those stocks which is still... It's, of course, one of the largest published names. The recent high was about 393. It's still at about 355, even with today's 4% pop. When you're talking about Coal India, I was making this point yesterday morning. It's not as if the space is done and dusted. But I think there should be a little bit more focus in terms of larger, more liquid, more quality names. Coal India, I mean, the high was 527, stock still at about 468. So, keep an eye on a few of these names. Market breadth, I have to say, is I think about 9:1. 9 advances to 1 for 1 decline. So it's overwhelmingly on the positive side.
I just wanted to point out one more space, Prashant. That's housing finance companies. Interesting moves on Aavas, on Home First, or in LIC Housing Finance. There was a note this morning on Jefferies. Now, again, people are guessing what the government is going to be doing, and Jefferies believes that there could be some more SOPs and, a little more sweeteners added to that affordable housing scheme, and that could work well for these financiers.
On the day of the election, if you remember, we were talking Nal, Jal, what next? Housing, perhaps, right? As a bit of a focus area.
And he's been saying that, right? That they've made, I think it was 3 crore houses, and they're looking to add a tally and go up to 4 crores in the third term. So
it seems like a natural area to focus on. So we'll see. But these are big moves. PNB Housing, for example, had a big move yesterday, so it's a little quieter today. It was up about 7-8% yesterday. All right, what else? BHEL is seeing a sharp up move. BHEL is the #1 volume-led gainer right now, 275, so coming back up. So that power theme is still very much there. I sort of mentioned NTPC yesterday. Then look at REC and PFC. Both are up 5% apiece. 481 on REC, 469, 470 on PFC. The defense names, BEL is up 5.5%. So 274 on BEL. Adani Power, it's basically it's Adani but also power. So 5.5% there, 767. It had a big euphoric move on Monday. NHPC is up 6%. Again, power. There is RVNL, which is up 6%. Cochin Shipyard is coming up with a 6%. So, 8.5% pop. So 1827. I mean, this is, looking at this open and the kind of stocks which are moving, this looks like it's almost business as usual from a market perspective, right? So there was that shift to the consumer staples kind of name for a day, 2 days, but it's right back. Hindalco is up 7.5%. Hindalco, these are large moves and very large volumes right out of the gates. EIL is up 7%. EIL Engineers India 231 on EIL. All PSUs. IRCON is up 5.5%, 6% actually, 252 on IRCON. BEML is up 7%, 3935 on BEML. Garden Reach Shipbuilders is up 8.5%. There was a bit of a break with PSUs, but they're back, and how 1280 on Garden Reach. I can spot more names here. Century Textiles, of course, there's that sort of news flow. With regards to Birla Estates, Sonal highlighted that 10% on Century Textiles. Stock is past the 2,000 rupee mark. NLC India is up 7%. That's Neyveli Lignite. And so on. Railtel is up 6%. And volumes are not lacking at all. It's a big volume-led open that we're seeing. There is Chennai Petro, RITES, GSFC. I could go on with the kind of open that we have got. Really vibrant and PSU-led through and through is what you're seeing. 100+ points in Nifty, but it doesn't show you what's happening beneath the surface as I read out these names.